Hey you guys, what is up? My name is Taquisha. This is Our Freedom Song, and I'm so happy that you have decided to join me in the garden this evening. Although we are smack dead in full summer, there is so much beauty in the garden still. There is so much to behold and so much to still harvest. As you can see, I've been harvesting some peppers. And so this is the thing. It's coming to that time where I have to choose what is going to be the greater good. So the peppers look like they still have so much life to give. It's just been so hot. So the growth is stunted. They are in a bed where I want to prepare the soil before planting our fall crops. That is hard. It is hard to pull up a plant that is still doing well. It still has life. It still wants to produce fruit, but you need that space to plant something else. That is so hard. I don't know if that ever gets easier. I am wearing a sweater, y'all, out here. The mosquitoes have not been horrible this year at all, thanks to all of the things that we've done and some prayer. They have not been bad, but we had crazy rain last night, and so it's raining, pouring down, lightning was crazy, and so today it's very hot, it's very humid, and it's very damp still, and so the mosquitoes are out here something serious. So the challenge that I'm having with wanting to pull out these peppers is because I actually want to do this thing that's called solarizing the soil. So it's where you lay down plastic and the sun heats up the soil, and then it kills eggs and insects, all the things that we don't want in the soil. It kills those things. This summer, that bed, the bed that the peppers are in, had huge pest pressure. I mean, like, it was really bad. I really want to do what I can to get rid of any eggs that I can get rid of before planting our brassicas in those beds. And so that is really the challenge. It's like I have to do what I have to do for the greater good. So the plan is to use both of these beds in the fall for our brassicas. But as you can see, they are still actually teeming with peppers. And so I'm going to have to make that choice of just pulling out these pepper plants so that I can solarize the soil and hopefully assure us to have better success for our fall crops without having to worry about the pest pressure. There are also tomatoes in this bed, and they are trying to grow still. Like, look at these blooms. They are not giving up. And I think for me, it's even harder to pull a tomato plant than it is a pepper plant, because listen, I love a good tomato. So yeah, I'm really struggling because as you can see, peppers still very much so want to grow, and it's just so unfortunate. Not that they want to grow, but it's unfortunate that I want to plant brassicas in this bed. One option would be to pull up this plant and try to overwinter it. The only problem with that is, as you can see, this plant is not in the healthiest of conditions. Like, it'll keep producing right now, but I don't know how well it will do if I try to overwinter it. But I mean, that makes me hopeful. It gives me hope that I can at least try to save a plant that still wants to grow, and maybe it will come back next year. Front of both of these beds, also peppers, and they've just all produced so well. I have to say, one of my favorite things this year that I've done differently, and I know I've mentioned this before, but planting flowers. Planting these flowers has just given me so much joy coming into the garden. They're still in full bloom, looking beautiful. Some are bloomed, some are producing seeds that we're going to be able to plant next spring. And I'm just saying, like, that if you have not planted flowers, definitely do it. I just feel like they give you so much hope when you walk into the garden and you see them just so beautiful, teeming with life. The pollinators absolutely love them. You would just have such a beautiful garden if you remember to plant your flowers. Next year, I'm going to plant even more flowers because these are just, you want some joy? Plant you some flowers. This one, as you can see, we actually left too long before harvesting because all of the sunflower seeds have either dropped out or been eaten. There's a couple that's still in there. And the same thing for this one over here. It's the coolest thing. But that is so exciting. Oh my goodness. We have so many sunflowers to harvest. This is our stevia plant. It is doing so well. It has grown leaps and bounds right here. Look how gorgeous this is. We are going to be making us some stevia extract with these stevia leaves, and I am really looking forward to that. We all really love stevia here at my house, and so this will be such a fun treat for us. This is our sweet potato bed, and this is actually called ground cherry. So they're in like these little wrappers. So cool, right? We have some amaranth. The bugs are absolutely loving. I was hoping it was going to be the perfect trap crop, but they love these as well as our sweet potato leaves. So they still ate our sweet potato leaves. Nevertheless, our sweet potatoes are growing. I took a look a couple days ago and I could see that the ground was lumping, and look, sweet potatoes are there. So we are going to be doing a sweet potato harvest sooner than later, and I am so excited about that. Oh my goodness, I just ate that ground cherry without even showing you guys, just in case you've never seen one. And we did plant this from seed. This is what it looks like. and you just unwrap it. So you pretty much just take the wrapper off, and it's a little, this is what it looks like in the inside. And it kind of has a pineapple flavor. And it's so refreshing. Like, you should definitely try it. So there is definitely a mashup of things growing in this bed. This is a canna lily. Isn't she absolutely gorgeous? I'm like, what are you doing right here? I see some melons growing in this bed along with our sweet potatoes, and then we have our one amaranth. So yeah, definitely a mashup. So most of everything on our cattle panel trellis is pretty much spent. I mean, we have some tomatoes right here that need to be harvested. As you can see, some has busted, some has some holes. But these marigolds, can we just talk about and appreciate these marigolds for a minute? They have really stood the test of time. And they're so beautiful, and they still give that pretty pop of color. Like I said, flowers. We do still have several green tomatoes that want to be eaten. So they only need to start blushing, and then we can pick those off. But other than that, these beds are pretty much finishing up. I say that and then look right over here and see that this tomato wants to completely flower. It's saying, I am not done yet. Don't count me out. Oh my goodness, this is such good news. Look at these yard-long asparagus beans. Yes, I gave them a second go after the aphids just ripped them apart over there on our obelisk trellises. I decided to plant some in other places, and I am so happy to see them growing. If you want to prolong the green in your garden, green beans are definitely the way to go. Every place that I've planted, more green beans have just bursted with vibrancy in that area. And so I'm really happy that I made the decision to plant more green beans. Like over here, for instance, y'all remember this baby watermelon? Look, there's more growing. Remember, it was yellow over here. I planted green beans over here and they were yellow, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on with this bed? I amended this area with, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at this. That is the largest asparagus bean that I have ever seen. Oh my word. Look at these beauties. That is so exciting. I'm so happy about this, y'all. I can't even explain how much joy this brings me to see these beans growing in this way. So much joy. Goodness, listen, do you remember, if you've been here, I was so happy and raving and going on and on and on about how I couldn't wait to see our obelisk trellises dripping. Remember, I was like dripping with these asparagus long beans, and then they barely got off the ground. It was crazy. The aphids tore them up. They loved them so much. And so I was really disappointed about that because I wanted to see them grow. And so I planted them in other areas of the garden, and listen, they are growing and so well. Oh my goodness. So like I was saying, I replanted this area with the asparagus beans, just trying to be hopeful, and it has taken off. There is barely any signs of yellowing, so that means that the ground has, or the soil has, plenty of nitrogen in there. And we also have a baby watermelon growing, and so I feel like things are looking up over here, y'all. They really are looking up. I just gotta say, the leaves on this plant is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's huge. It's the size of my hand. It is so gorgeous. Wow. Wow. These are definitely going to be on the menu tonight, y'all. These is going to be on the menu tonight. Yes. This flower bed has definitely not disappointed as well. It's brought me so much joy walking right into the garden and always seeing all these pops of color right here in the middle of the garden has been such a fun treat. Such a fun treat. Okay, so there's actually some changes that is going to be coming to the garden, and I'm so happy to share this with y'all. Everything behind me in the container garden is going to be reworked, and so I'm going to be redesigning everything back here so that it could be more cohesive with the greenhouse. I want to be able to come from the greenhouse and come straight into the garden. I definitely don't want to have to walk all the way around. Our garden is pretty long, and so having those two doors are going to be great, but being able to come straight from the greenhouse into the garden is going to be great. And I want to design it in a way where it just makes sense. And so I love design. I love that I get to just think through it and see how we are going to just make it work. The two beds that we're going to do the brassicas in, as well as the two trellises that I want to plant peas on, because last year those peas, if you haven't started thinking about if you're going to plant sweet peas or not, definitely do it, because your girl don't even like peas and they were just so crisp and such a treat in the garden. So I definitely want to plant those again. So I'm going to be planting sweet peas on both the trellises. I'm going to be planting the brassicas in those two garden beds that you saw. And then I really want to amend the soil.
I just had to pause right here because a mosquito is about to land on my face.
On the in-ground bed, I want to plant some beans in these beds as soon as I can, just to try to amend the soil and put some nitrogen back into the ground and really get those all nice and tidy. But I'm actually going to cover the soil in these beds. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, okay, covering the soil, making it ready. Oh, is this a bug? Was crawling on my face. Ugh. So I'm thinking about amending the soil and covering it up, allowing it to rest. It can be replenished. To recap, we are going to be planting a small-ish fall garden using the trellises, and then doing a complete makeover back here. Does anybody need some ideas about your like I have so many ideas. I lay down at night and ideas are just rushing through my head about garden design and what I can do different and all the things. And so that's fun. I'm going to do a complete overall on this back garden, and so definitely stay tuned. I am so excited about it because I think that designing gardens is so fun. And it really just gives you an aspect of wanting to be in your garden, whatever you are, creating a space that you find very beautiful. And so I'm trying to figure out how I can do this in a super budget-friendly way. Little to no money. Little to no money. Plus, be very creative and create a beautiful space that we will love, our family will love, and that you guys will love as well. And so I cannot wait to share that with you. It's so exciting. So this is one of the trellises that I'm planning to keep to plant our sweet peas on. And I'm also planning to keep this front trellis operating throughout the fall as well. I would absolutely love to plant something great by this obelisk trellis throughout the fall and winter. I just don't know what exactly. I would love for it to primarily bring beauty to the garden, and so I'm still thinking about it. I do have some sweet pea flowers, and I'm wondering if they are going to be frost hardy, because that would be very gorgeous just to plant around the trellis, but to cover the rest of the ground so that it can rest. Our beautiful hot biscuits finally gave way and just decided to fall over and die, but at the same time still sprout new life. So I'd absolutely love to hear all of your thoughts. Would you pull those peppers for the greater good to prepare the ground and to get everything ready for your fall crops? Or would you hang off and let them continue to grow, even though they're stunted right now because of this incredible heat? What would you do in your garden? I'd also love to know, what do you plant in your fall garden that the sole primary reason for you planting it there is because of the beauty? Please let me know. I am just so excited about learning about all the different things that can be planted in the fall and winter. I am in South Carolina and we are in zone 8B, and so we have mild winters, and so I need to keep that in mind as well. But if you have your favorite thing, flowers, anything, like, I just really want to know, what is it that you plant? What varieties do you plant in your fall and winter garden that brings so much beauty to your garden that you would love to share? Because I would love to hear. Thank you guys so much for joining me in the garden today. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you guys down in those comments below.